Meadows Information Bravo.
India Key November ground, roger. Rummy 08 left, altimeter 3010, the wind calm. Squawk 6746, contact me on tower 1263, holding short.
Pit tower, India Yankee number is ready on Foxtrot.
India Yankee November tower, roger, straight out departure, altitude your discretion. The wind is calm, clear for takeoff, Rummy 08 left.
Clear for takeoff, 08 left, India Yankee November.
Wow. Walk departure, squawk 6751, contact me on tower 1263, holding short. November tower, the main service temporary, need to change traffic to sea. Have a good morning.
India Yankee November. Eastbound, 2,500.
Field here at 1,000, we'll be crossing.
July traffic, India numbers turning final, 07, full stop. July traffic, India Yankee numbers lining up, 07.
We'll be off before Delta for sure.
July traffic, India Yankee numbers on the roll, 07.
Helicopter.
That's so crazy.
It's ridiculous, right? Look at this. Yeah, it's honestly like more power than you need, this engine.
It is.
Scattered. Altimeter 3012.
Foxtrot India Yankee November, pit tower, squawk 3005.
College arrival 26 right, India Yankee November. Quick to land 26 right, India Yankee November.
Roger that, turning base, what time of the push unit? Golf Sierra Papa Tower 1, on departure eastbound with no altitude restriction, cleared for touch and go runway 26 left. Julia Foxtrot to 8 from 5.
India Yankee number 2.
So tell me a little bit about this machine.
Well, this is a 172, but it's the first year that Cessna made the 172 in 1956. So it's almost 70 years old, this one.
Nice.
Quite a few changes through the model years. So you'll see as we go around some things I can point out that didn't come originally that the newer ones have.
Yeah.
Like the baggage door, for example.
Yes.
But we've done quite a few modifications to it. But the nice thing about the earlier 172s is they were much lighter than the newer ones, the empty weight, as well as you probably noticed when we were flying, the panel is a lot lower.
Yeah.
So you get a really good forward visibility. Well, if you've flown a 170, it's the same fuselage, except the tail. So everything in flight, it feels like you're flying a 170.
Okay, nice.
They're quite nice to fly. The prop's a Hartzell. It's called a Trailblazer. This one's an 80-inch. Constant speed, composite prop. They make them, it's quite interesting. You know, MT props are a wood propeller that are then covered in I don't know what exactly they use, but this one's I think a foam core with carbon fiber and then covered. So it's a very durable prop. And then the leading edge here is, a lot of people are worried about the composite props in rain or rocks and chips, but this is a nickel leading edge, so it's a lot harder than steel even. So any sort of nicks or rain or wear, you don't really notice it. So it's a good prop to last a long time, and it makes a lot of static thrust, a lot of pull. Continental IO 370. There's an interesting history with that engine as well. The home built community will know about this engine from the Titan line of engines from ECI. So the Titan line was a home built version of a Lycoming clone essentially that they started making, and then Continental Motors in the States bought ECI and certified the engine. That's what this one is. So this is a certified Titan 370, 195 horsepower, almost 10-to-1 compression, 4-cylinder, and has some more modern features like a roller camshaft, so less worries about corrosion and things like that.
Yeah.
This STC conversion is from Stutz Aviation in Alaska, and he's put a lot of work into making this kit. He's sold, I think, just shy of 100 of these prop and engine combo kits. And I mean, I think the performance speaks for itself. It's a substantial difference.
Did you have to do this, or it was already?
So the kit comes with the oil door as part of the kit, the bubbles as part of the kit. These top and bottom nose bowls are part of the kit as well. So you remove the original ones, kind of split the whole cowling apart. This whole piece on the bottom is a new fabricated piece.
Okay.
Because the engine sits a bit, doesn't sit lower, but the exhaust is larger.
Yeah.
So you have to widen the cowling a little bit. Okay. So this is all new. It's spliced on the bottom. a lot of modifications.
I see.
And if you look closely enough from the front, you'll notice that the engine is not actually in the middle of the front of the cowling.
Yeah, you can actually see the little offset.
Yeah,
here.
so this is the center. And so as part of his flight testing and design of the STC, they angled it to the right a little bit, as well as it's turned a bit.
Okay.
So it really, you don't have to use much right rudder at all on the climb and takeoff. It's very well
balanced. I guess,
Yeah, it's been kind of designed out of it. So there was very minor differences. I was worried that you're going to have to hold the right rudder really a lot, but no, it has proven not to be like that.
I've noticed that it sits very high
It does
from the
sit
ground.
very high.
I guess that's because of.
So that's another of the model differences from 1956 to I think 58. I can't remember exactly what year. The first couple years had this very tall landing gear.
Yeah, it's not
so
only
you can see
the tires, but also
it's
the
very steep and
Yeah.
not as wide. Like a 172M or the newer ones with the tubular gear, they're very wide stance.
Yeah.
These are narrower and they're very tall.
Yeah.
It's the same thing on the first couple years of the 182. They had a higher stance. I don't know why they changed it after that. Maybe it's more stable with the lower center of gravity on the ground.
Yeah.
But it gives you lots of clearance to the ground for a bigger prop, or even if you're going on places with gravel, a little bit more distance for rocks that fly up and things like that. So hopefully the plane don't get dented as much.
Because I'm 6'3" and normally I can't just
you can walk underneath.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
Maybe a little less for most people. They don't have to worry about getting the Cessna diamonds.
Oh
in their head,
yes, exactly. You got this stamped in your forehead. Yeah, I got those before. And the tires, 850, right?
850 on the mains.
Yeah.
There's 800 on the nose. You can run up to an 850 on the nose as well. So you could put the same three large ones. It just starts to get a bit heavy on the nose with the bigger tire. Even this is borderline nose heavy with the bigger fork, the bigger engine.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we added the baggage door and the extension on the back.
I see. Oh yeah, so this wasn't here,
no,
right?
So from the factory, I think in the 60s is when they started putting the doors in the planes.
Yeah, which was a smart move, I guess.
It was a smart move. Before, to do any baggage, you'd have to come in the plane and you'd have to flip the seat down and reach over the seat or crawl into the plane and get back
which is not the
back
best.
to the area here.
Yeah.
So it was a bit uncomfortable, especially when you got a lot of weight in the back and you're kind of tipping the thing back. So I had this.
And from what plane that came? From a 172 as well, or?
I think a 180. And so yeah, this structure was from a wrecked airplane. There's an STC for this.
Okay.
From a company in the States. That
And how was the process to put a door? Did you have to get the documentation? How does it work?
it comes with pretty rough instructions.
Okay.
Cut a hole in the side of the plane,
Put the
make
door.
it fit, put the door, kind of stuff like that, right? A little more detailed, but yeah, I had the structures guy come over and he just goes with the little angle grinder and
That
cut
day
the
I
hole
came
out.
here, right?
Yes,
Yeah, he
yeah.
was
Of course,
going
you start with a couple inches too small, so
then
you can work your way out. But I think it's not painted yet, obviously, but it fits pretty good.
It's amazing,
Once it's painted, I think it'll look factory.
And there's a lot of room.
There
here
is,
in
so
the
that's
back.
another
It's pretty
extra.
big,
So the original baggage goes to this bulkhead, and the extended baggage now goes all the way back to here, and it's full height as well. On the ones that you fly at the school, I think they have a baggage that's
it sits higher.
higher, and it's only up to here.
Lower.
It's
Yeah, the
small.
tail is smaller, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's lower here.
Yeah, there's no rear window up until 1960 something.
Okay.
And I don't remember the exact year, but they call these the fastbacks.
Okay, yeah. Flaps are manual.
Flaps are manual.
That's different also from the ones I fly.
The flaps are manual with the Johnson bar, or whatever you want to call it.
We can talk about the inside. I'll go to the other side there. So I guess you put some avionics that were not original from the plane, or you bought already? Like you guys got it?
I can give you pictures. Actually, it'd be kind of funny to compare them. I've got when we bought it, it had close to the factory panel.
Yeah.
little things. It had Venturis actually. I don't know if
Okay.
you've flown a plane that had Venturis before.
No.
Yeah, so it just had the two Venturis on the side, and that's what powered the vacuum system.
Okay.
Because the original engine didn't have the capability of having a vacuum pump.
Okay.
So they had to put the
Venturis
Venturis from the
outside.
factory.
Nice.
Yeah. So we switched to. It kind of morphed as we did it.
Yeah.
You know, let's do one thing and then, oh, maybe we'll add this and that. And then it ended up being a bigger project than we originally planned. So when we did that, it was, I think, around 14 months of work that we did to do all the panel and some other stuff. At that time, we had overhauled the 0300. And so we were doing those concurrently, and it ended up being a long time.
Nice.
But I think it was well worth the wait. It's a nice panel now.
Now it looks really clean, very...
Yeah, and it's not crazy, like over the top, I don't think.
No. It's what you need with safety.
Yeah, basically we got the cheapest new GPS that you could get with the COM. So this is a GNC 355. We had this really old one. This is a VFR only GPS from the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
But the COM on it works really well. So we kept that just as a second COM. I never used the GPS. But I guess if something went wrong with that one, you could use it for some basic navigation. This engine analyzer, these two are from Electronics International. They're the CGR 30s.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of, you ask a bunch of people the different opinions on which ones they like, but I've liked this one and had no problems with it. It's been very reliable.
Yeah.
And then these are GI 275s, which is kind of the newer version of the G5. Everyone's familiar with the G5s. When we bought it, there was only two in the front. We had a two-place little intercom, not even an audio panel. So we had to use this funky box to get people in the back, and then we just repurposed the ashtrays because nobody's going to be no one's going to be smoking anymore.
Well, windshield very big and clean. That's
we
nice
went
to
with the
see.
tinted one this time, which
it's a light tint, right?
it's very light tint. And I've flown at night a bunch with it, and I haven't had any. No, you don't really notice it once you're in the plane.
Oh, the doors! I loved how easy they close. I don't know how to describe, but
you can close it.
They close really easily. That's it. No slamming needed. I guess the tail and everything else is...
the tail is similar
was,
to what you'll be used to, but it is a bit shorter. Like you notice the counterweight or the balance weight is not the same shape.
And the shape is also, I don't know if because the tail is a different shape, like the whole
so they call these
here.
they call these the straight tail 172s. So up until 1960, they had the vertical or the non-swept tail. And then after that, Cessna likes to use a lot of funky marketing terms. I think they had one for the swept tail, it goes so much faster and all these marketing things. It's just not true. I like the look of the vertical tail.
No, it is really cool. It looks really nice.
It seems to me that it has more rudder authority than the swept tail ones. There's a lot of people who convert these to tail wheel, these early ones, and they kind of look like a mini Cessna 180.
And the painting scheme, was it like this? You just repainted on top, or?
This is how we bought it. So the person who painted this in 2006 or something, it's kind of like a play on the original factory paint scheme.
But also, this is the paint from 2006?
Something like that, 2008,
looks
around
pretty,
there.
Looks pretty good still.
I polished it back up. It had been sitting outside in Chilliwack for a couple of years when we bought the plane. It needed a little bit of care. So I spent a long couple of weekends with the polisher to get it nice.
Normally I think the ones I've seen, they point to the back.
It's funny, a lot of these early ones, they all seem to point forward. We just kept it like that. We could have made it point back, but
same
apples, oranges kind of thing.
Nice, very nice.
And then on the wing, this is the Sportsman STOL kit. All the silver area. So that comes with the new leading edges. And if you see at the root, you can see the size difference. So the original wing was this profile. And the new profile comes out that far. So it adds a couple square feet total to the wing area.
Yeah.
it substantially improved the takeoff performance.
As
We
we've
put
seen
this on
today.
before the new engine, maybe a month before we started the new engine project,
Yeah.
and I would say this maybe half the takeoff distance.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it drastically reduced the stall speed. So
Yeah.
I figure it makes the plane a lot safer if you had to ditch into, or not ditch, but if you had to crash into a forest or something.
Yeah.
If you're going 40 miles an hour, you're probably going to walk away. It's
Yeah.
quite a slow
instead of
impact.
like 60 or
Yeah.
something.
And it comes with the leading edges, the new wingtips are part of the kit, and there's some gap seals that go in the ailerons. It's supposed to help aileron authority at slow speed.
Nice.
That's sort of why, even when you stall it, the ailerons are still effective. It won't cause it to go into a spin or deep
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
stall.
that was really crazy, very crazy when we did the stalls today. It doesn't.
It doesn't. And even if the wing does drop, you can just pick it up with coordinated rudder
Yeah.
and ailerons, and it's fine. On most of them, you use the ailerons, it just stalls worse.
Yes.
Which has not been the case with this. So
Nice.
it's very hard to get into trouble
Yeah.
in this plane because the stall speed is so slow and the control authority is right down to the stall.
Okay, you can put the RPM in, mixture almost rich. So here's 20, 30, 40. It's not really gonna do anything.
It just descends, I guess.
Here, I can go all the way back.
Oh wow.
And you can just use the aileron. Like this is all it does.
Wow.
Back to flying, and stall again. But perfectly level, like no wing drop, right?
Wow, it's so stable. Yeah.
And I can show you what happens if you try to do a departure stall. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
Like full power.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. It's really dumb. Look at the nose up angle as we do
Yeah.
this, okay? Like if you want to stall at VX, you have to be an idiot. Look at this.
Wow.
There's a stall. That's it.
Wow, you really
Like
have
you,
to
I don't know
go
how you'd
for
ever
it.
get
Yeah,
into
no.
that situation, right?
Oh yeah, you just put this stuff. You put just as a precaution if anything happens.
This
with the
is
oleo,
just
so it
a last-ditch effort if the nose strut was to go flat.
Yeah.
Even if the strut's flat, if the tire's inflated, there should be sufficient prop clearance.
doesn't- Yeah.
But if they both went flat,
Yeah.
it starts to get
Yeah.
really
too
close.
Yeah. Nice.
Mind you, I've heard that the composite props are much more forgiving for
Then
if you happen to have a prop strike.
they break.
They kind of just explode,
and then
and the
is
engine
kinda fine, yeah.
doesn't really see too much
Yeah.
damage, or that's the thinking at least. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't want to find
It
out.
makes sense, but yeah, please don't.
I'm not planning on it.
Yeah. Well,
Check. I mean, there's a long list of other things I haven't even mentioned.
for the next flights.
Yes.
Whenever they happen.